Hey there YouTube, it's Josh again. I'm back for my next movie review. Okay, so I've done a review on Jaws and Jaws 2, and now it's time for me to move on with the Jaws franchise to Jaws 3. Okay, and just as a heads up, there are no spoilers in this review until the end, and I'll warn you before they're coming, as per usual. So, before I begin my actual review of Jaws 3, I just want to talk a little bit of how I felt about Jaws 1 and 2. The first Jaws movie is an absolute classic. It is a masterpiece, alright? It is the king of all shark movies. You cannot beat Jaws when it comes to shark movies, alright? And then there's Jaws 2, which was a really good sequel. I really enjoyed it. I had a few issues with it, but overall it was good. But the only real reason why I like Jaws 2 so much, because it's basically just a rehash of the first Jaws movie, and it's basically exactly the same, except with a few minor changes. So it's almost like the same movie to me. And when I heard that Jaws 3 was going to be set in a water park, I thought, oh, that sounds new, that could be different, this could actually be really cool. So I've watched Jaws 3 now, and what's the case with Jaws 3? Well, I'll say this much: Jaws 3 is not a masterpiece. Not like Jaws 1 and 2. I'll just start it off like that. Alright guys? It's definitely not the best in the franchise. I mean, it didn't absolutely suck. It had a lot of flaws though. There were a few things I enjoyed about it, but so for me, Jaws 3 was just okay, which really isn't the best effort for a Jaws movie, to just be okay. So I'll start off this review by saying a few stuff that I did like about it. One, it had a kick-ass opening sequence. Like with, you know how at the start of any Jaws movie, how it's from the shark point of view swimming through the water? In my opinion, Jaws 3 had the best one of those of all three of them. Yes, it was a little bit goofy, but the whole movie's fairly goofy, and the opening scene is no exception, but it just looks so awesome. Like it's not scary, it's just like when you see it, like, whoa, that was awesome. Scary? No, but cool though. And Jaws 3, it had some good ideas, like the idea of having it been set in a water park was a good idea, because it was a bit different from the first two, which are just beach movies. And there were a few turns which were good ideas, but they just did not put the movie together right. Alright? And for example, it had no connection to the first two movies whatsoever, which I didn't really like. I think the only character from the first two movies who re-inspired their role was Sean, who's one of Chief Brody's son. Yes, Roy Scheider as Chief Brody is not in this film, nor are any of the other casts other than Sean. So I didn't really like that part of the movie. and the acting was absolutely terrible. Oh, everyone overacted. There was not one decent performance in the movie. The acting in Jaws 3 was no good. The special effects were absolutely dreadful. I mean, I think this film was meant to be like a 3D film or something like that. I think in cinemas it was released in 3D, but then the 3D was so bad that when it got to DVD they just said Jaws 3. Now obviously I have not seen this film in 3D, but you can definitely tell it was meant to be a 3D film, because some of the special effects were just awful. There's one bit in particular which is the worst effect in a Jaws movie I've ever seen. I'll tell you which bit that is in the spoiler section coming up. So yeah, the special effects were no good. But on the other hand, if you look at it like this way, some of the special effects, they're so bad that it's so fun to watch at times. It almost turns into one of those films which are so bad that you just can't help but love. There are a lot of dead bodies in the movie that look so fake that it's funny. And yeah, so and the shark looks so unrealistic. And sometimes it can be funny, almost. So at times this film can almost be like a comedy. Alright guys? So now I'm going to talk about some spoilers. So if you have not seen Jaws 3 and are planning on doing so, I advise you turn off the video now. You have been warned. Okay, so the bit that I was talking about earlier on in the film, well not early in the film, because it is towards the end actually, well, the bit that I said that I really hated was, I don't really need to say it, because if you've seen the movie you'll know exactly which bit I'm talking about. The glass shattering bit. It just looks so bad, like the shark's tail isn't moving, and when the glass shatters it's so stupid. It's like and just glass goes everywhere. I mean, I was kind of like, oh my god, when I saw this, but I was kind of laughing at the same time because it just looked so stupid. And then the killing of the shark. Now, the killing of the shark is, again, it's one of those things that looks so stupid that you just can't help but love. Like, they put the grenade in the shark's mouth and the shark bites onto the grenade and it just blows up. And the blood looks incredibly fake. But again, it's just so fun to watch because it is so bad. Okay, so I'm gonna wind things up in this review. Jaws 3, it's not that good, to be honest. It had some good things about it. The special effects are awful. So Jaws 3, it's just okay. I'm just gonna leave it like that. It's alright. And expect a review of Jaws The Revenge, which is the 4th movie in the franchise, in a week or so. So stay tuned in, okay? Thanks for watching, guys. Don't let Jaws come and get you.